All right, we are here on a Thursday morning, wherever you may be. Maybe you are in England. Maybe you are in Afghanistan, in Russia, and it's later on in the day. So good afternoon to you. Good evening, depending on where you may be. We have football, which is great because, my God, if I'm forced to look at any other angle here with this Philadelphia Eagles team, I may throw myself off of the roof. Which is not on fire, by the way.
No, me too. If I have to hear Nick Sirianni one more time before this game, I may lose it. What was yesterday afternoon?
The flowers, the soil.
Yes, the soil. He's a horticulturist now. I mean, Barrett, I got to go to you because I blanch at all this kind of stuff. But you, being a veteran player, how do you think that kind of stuff at this point? It's one thing doing this back in July and August before the season starts and you don't really know what this guy's all about. But now you're 2-5 and it looks like an abject failure. And he starts rolling out horticultural references with regard to football. How is that received by the veteran guys in the room?
They're looking at him like, what the hell are you talking about, man?
Thank you.
You're gonna hear a whole lot of other players say something now.
Good.
And you come up with stuff like, come on, man. You know,
seriously.
There's a way in which you conduct yourself, man. As a coach, you're a leader of men, not a leader of what do you call it? Horticulturalists.
Yes.
We're not digging anything. We're not planting anything. We're out there trying to win football games. You know what I'm saying? Go play with footballs instead of playing with shovels and seeds and. Come on, man. We don't need that, bro. We don't need that. At this point, you're looking at your coach like, okay, know when to say when. That way you don't know what you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's better to not know than to know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That they're looking
if
like,
you don't know, now you know.
Sirianni pushing that this morning?
Yeah. I'd rather him do that. I'd rather him come out to like a Biggie song in front of the team and try to dance to a rap song. I'd rather do that.
They're looking at him now like he should be in the meeting apologizing right now. Put it like that.
They're looking at him like we've been looking at him this entire time. It's just now it's hit them.
And the question is the owner looking at him that way now? Because remember, this is a guy who spent 15 hours in the owner's house in his palatial estate down in Florida and wowed the guy, okay, with stuff like this.
Well, here's the thing. He only wowed him if you believe that Lurie brought him in to win. If you believe that Lurie looked at this guy and thought, hey, you know, he's the perfect candidate to fly this ship into the ground so we could ensure a top pick, then maybe he wanted to be positive and needed that extra hour, not the 13th hour, but the 14th hour to be like, all right, this is the smooth we can move forward with.
This is it.
This is it.
And he said not the 13th hour, but the 14th hour.
What? Wasn't it 14 hours?
Yeah, I think it was like a 14, 15-hour meeting, apparently.
I'm telling you, that was enough for them to go through a comprehensive plan of how this thing continues to look awful throughout the season.
Remember what I told you guys. Remember what I told you.
Yeah.
The only way he can win this team over, especially when the veterans over, is number one, keep it 100 with him. Talking about flowers and stuff is not keeping it 100.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, can he make us better? Well, he's not making them better right now because they're getting worse. They're on a decline instead of ascending. And number three, he's got to be somebody they can look to and be like, okay, they don't want to follow a guy that's soft.
Yeah.
They want to follow a man that's a man's man. You know, it's going to be hard to go out there being all soft when you're in a gladiator sport. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Come on, man. You know,
I want to see fans, because we got the greatest fans. I want to see fans against when the Chargers come to town the next home game in the stands with those outfits with the flowers around, like a sunflower around your face. You know, like I want to see that. Let's just do this whole thing up. I want to see tulips. I want to see begonias. I want to see sunflowers. Let's do it.
Begonia.
Forget about dog masks. Let's
No.
start wearing flower gear.
Flower power.
Yes.
Right? It's the return. Nick Sirianni brought flower power back.
Flower power is a good IPA. Did you ever have it?
I have not. No.
Oh, it's excellent.
What does it taste like? Is it a stout or what?
No, it's
is
an IPA.
Okay, what does it taste like?
It's got like a tie-dye looking label to it. I used to drink them over when I was a member at Rivercrest. They used to have it at the bar. It was so good.
Like on tap?
No, they'd be in the bottle, and they just poured in a nice cold glass.
Got it.
So good. Flower power.
That's ridiculous, man. But that's what we're at right now.
It goes well with those pills, those capsules you just
absolutely. I'm
ingested.
sure. A lot does, though, by the way.
Bro, I
One of
mean,
these chocolate things.
Maybe Nick Sirianni can grow weed. Maybe he's growing weed.
No, he's not cool enough to do that.
ginseng.
Yeah, he's growing he's marketing CBD. He's bringing in like the shit that doesn't work,
Bro, at this point,
which is like aspirin.
they don't want to hear. They don't want to hear about what I'm saying, following Bob the Builder or Bob the farmer. They want to hear from Maximus. You know what I'm saying, from Gladiator.
Right. Yeah.
They want that type of leader. You know what I'm saying. You're not gonna get much from Bob the farmer. You know what I'm saying.
No,
Bob the farmer does nothing for these guys.
To farmers. Okay, he's not even a farmer.
You're right,
okay?
man. You're right.
Because
You know what,
farmers are tough people.
They're real tough people.
Yes.
You're right. Real tough people, man. So my fault. Let me retract that. Let me retract it.
All right.
Not farmers. What's that called, right?
Farmers what?
That stupid farmers thing.
Farmers.com.
I don't think it's farmers.
dating?
It's
the dating site?
What's
Farmers
that?
only.
Yeah, farmers only.
Farmers
That's it.
only. Yeah.
Not farmers.com. Farmers only. I'm afraid to go to farmers.com.
Oh man, they want Marcus. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They Maximus, Marcus Aurelius, whatever
Marcus
they are.
Aurelius.
Yeah, they better off. At this point, they'd settle for Mr. Marcus.
Exactly right.
I mean, come on. What are we talking here? What
Mr.
the
Marcus
hell?
used to listen to my show when I was out in L.A. Used to come by the studio. I swear to God that he said that.
No, he did. Did he say that?
Yeah, yes, he
I'm
did,
sure.
Did he?
I'm
yes,
sure.
He did he?
Oh, he did he?
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, Eytan let me know that Lomas Brown was on with Cilio yesterday afternoon.
Well, I saw Cilio quote a tweet, or I saw there was a thing from Lomas, and it looked like it was put out from the JAKIB Media account, right, where we have the big picture and then the quote there. So I imagine he was on, right? That damn.
I would think so. If they're
He was on
quoting him.
you know what? I was listening to the show, and I waited for a long time for him to come on just to see who's come on. He kept having to push it farther and farther because he didn't get on. But I guess he eventually got on once I got off.
Oh wow! Look at that. So
Yeah,
you were on, or you were listening?
No, I was listening.
Okay.
As I was,
so he was on. Wow.
Yeah, I'm sanding down my car. I'm sanding down my car, and he kept saying he was, they were efforting him to get there, and I'm still sanding and sanding. I got tired of sanding. I said, you know what, time for me to go in the house and.
Wow, I guess that's good, huh?
Lomas dusted the middle.
He did.
Yeah,
he
he
went full dust mode. He
did.
He hit us with the dust bowl. Just bang. Right? What the hell, man?
Jesus.
He's dead to the show now?
Well, he was never alive to the show.
I guess
I never got a call back.
Jeez.
I don't think
now you know where you rate.
Right.
Cilio's up here. You're down here
bro,
somewhere.
We played not on the same team, but I at least played in Detroit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
No, we're fading.
Yeah, we're fading Lomas Brown on the show, says
right,
Joey B on the stream. Okay, so
he's
he's full faded.
Right. Yeah.
He's in there with Parles. By the way, is Parles available to come back on?
It's like, I guess 12:45, 12:50. He's in this crunch zone here. That's kind of weird because of the show that he's producing during the day now. So, yeah, I don't know if it's going to be easy by any means to get him on. I was trying to get him on, even for like 10 minutes. It might be fun. But, we're never going to be able to milk a clock 10 minutes with Parles.
No.
Especially because we're going to have to facilitate the fight between he and Joey.
Exactly. That'll take up 10 minutes in itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we will have to get Asman on prior to the Jets game with the Eagles.
Oh, he'll come on for sure.
Yeah.
Jake is that guy.
Oh, he's not doing anything except that
he's doing a morning show, or is it a midday show? Or,
well, it's an afternoon show. Actually, it's afternoon drive. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, then he'd be available.
That's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
He's not doing that other show again.
We should get him live from Chipotle while he's eating lunch prior to his show.
Yep.
Oh,
that would
be
good.
Getting ugly on Twitter apparently between Joey B and Jeff Parles. We may need a correspondent update coming up in the second hour.
Is that right?
Let's go out to our Joey B versus Jeff Parles correspondent. I'm telling you, there's something there. No, you're right though. As far as when is that game with the Jets? A couple of weeks, right?
It's in a couple of weeks.
Right,
they play the Jets and Giants back to back at the Meadowlands.
At least we know we can get somebody from the Jets and the Giants on.
Right.
Lions seems to be difficult from former
These
players.
Detroit guys. Let me tell you, getting a beat guy on, whether it's a Zoom call to record, it's impossible. You think these guys are the busiest guys in the NFL?
You know why? They don't care about football in Detroit, bro.
Is that what you think? Like they've just seen so much losing. It's so hard. Like it beats them down.
Yeah, I mean, because they've had to endure a lot. I mean, look at even in college football, they've had to endure a lot. So I mean, Pistons suck. I mean, that's their worst football town right now. Than their sports is worse than ours right now.
Well, Michigan and Michigan State are good. In fact, they play Saturday at that's the big noon game on Fox.
Yeah, that's where they're there. Is game day there?
I don't know. Because there's also Penn State, Ohio State, Iowa plays Wisconsin. It's a big day for the Big Ten. I don't know where they'll be.
Should we get Mike Stone on? I'll reach out to him.
I tried him.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
He couldn't come on with me on that show because he's an Odyssey guy.
Yeah. Yeah, they won't let anybody come on with anybody.
And he hosts
on the radio.
He hosts the Detroit pregame show on Sundays, too. So, timing, he would have had to be recorded, and then he found out that it was an Odyssey, and he's like, I can't do it.
Right.
He's a Philly guy.
Mike Stone?
Mike Stone is from Philly. He's from Broomall, I believe.
Oh, let me
John Kincaid.
Let me reach out to him then.
Well, he might be able to come on this show. Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, since it's not a radio station.
It's at entercom.com.
He follows me on Twitter, and we were DMing the other day.
Okay.
I've had him on the radio before, a long, long time ago, before things got like this, and he's good.
Before things got like what?
Very territorial. Like back in the old days, 10, 12 years ago, it wasn't like that. Like guys from Entercom or CBS Radio would come on with you, or even if you were ESPN Radio. It didn't matter.
Well, this was a CBS thing. CBS was the one who initiated this.
Right.
How'd your interview go yesterday?
Oh, I was trying to get it. I was trying to get the link sent to me, and it was very skimmed down. It was very streamlined. It was it was a consumer reporter for the Fox station in Houston. And it was set up, by the way, by Fox 29. So I knew I couldn't dip out on that. Otherwise, I'd be screwed. But yes, I was basically asked a couple of questions just about how Mattress Mac would place a wager like that, why he would place a wager like that. If somebody wanted to get into sports betting, what are some things that they would know or should know? Basic stuff, very basic stuff like that. It wasn't anything like intricate or detailed to where.
So it was like sports betting for dummies.
Well, it was on the evening news with the Consumer Report.
Okay.
They spoke to. It's like we spoke to a sports betting expert, right? That's wagering expert. It's actually that's in my contract. Wagering.
Did they have you behind? Like, was your face covered up so your identity wouldn't be given away? And then they garble your voice, like they change your voice.
Yep. I told them specifically pixelate my face,
right?
At least
because you don't want to be recognized walking into a casino.
No, and honestly, I feel like Fox, like doing Good Day, has helped my face get out there because so many people watch Good Day.
Right.
But before that, and you guys know this, less for Barrett because he's always been on doing stuff on NBC and the post-game show. But I imagine, Harry, that if I were to line up how many people would recognize, like there's a pretty good percentage of people that recognize you out by hearing you first as
Yes.
opposed to seeing you.
Correct.
Like, oh, I just heard you order a drink, or I just
Yeah.
heard you give your credit card to the cashier. Are you Harry?
Hey, I know that voice.
It does happen.
It happens. It happens. So that's why I need my voice as well kind of messed with to that extent.
Exactly.
Hey, I know that voice.
Yeah. I know that voice. You know, that's one of those. That's one of those. I know that. No, but that's all. I'm going to reach out to Mike Stone and tell him that I host a show with you and Barrett.
Yeah. He does the morning show out there.
Oh, okay.
On radio.
Got it.
Been out there for a long time. Yep. Stony.
Got it. All right, good. Well, let me finish this email here.
Okay. Now, tonight I was saying to Eytan before the show started that tonight's going to be a good football game, but it's not going to be as good of a football game because Davante Adams didn't even make the trip to Arizona, apparently.
No, neither one of the receivers did. Neither one of them did.
Well, right. Cobb is in the game.
No, I'm talking about the other guy.
Lazard.
Lazard,
yeah, Lazard, he's out. But then also Watts is out probably for the year now. He's got to get shoulder surgery.
Yeah, J.J. Watt, he's out. Right.
Yep.
Right.
Still going to be a great game, though.
Yeah, I'm not going to miss Watt as much as I'm going to miss Davante Adams.
Me too, man.
You know.
I mean, can he run an offense without him?
Yes. Yes, he can. That guy can. Okay. Yeah, you know, could you imagine the Eagles' offense if Davante Adams had to miss a game?
Ooh.
Think about that.
Devontae Smith.
Or Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
I said Adams. I have Adams on the brain. I'm sorry.
Well,
could you imagine that, though?
No.
That's the crazy thing about it.
What would we do?
Right, with no Miles Sanders and Devontae Smith is out.
What would we do?
Exactly.
Oh, you know what we would do? We would run
Gainwell.
No, they would go Hurts left, Hurts right, Hurts left, Hurts right, Hurts up the middle. That's what
it would be Harry High School right out of the first series. Yeah.
Man, oh man. I still don't know what I'm gonna write for this my prediction, man. I mean, this is gonna be tough. What do you write about? What could you possibly say? What is really gonna be my my game plan on what I think they should do? Because every time I do it, it never happens. In order to win, you have to run the ball, and they're just not going to do it. They're not.
Well, I mean, they haven't even elevated Howard to the roster, have they?
I don't think they are.
I didn't see anything about it.
At this point,
they're going with Boston Scott and Gainwell. I bet Gainwell is going to be featured in some.
They were only using 2 running backs before.
Right. But you know what's killing Howard? Howard didn't play special teams.
Yeah, jeez.
You got to play special teams.
It's always bad. You'd think all 46 that suit up on Sundays play special teams.
Right.
Isn't it amazing?
Well, you know, that's
just deactivate J-Jaw.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Okay. He's not playing.
He's hurt.
Oh, he's hurt?
J-Jaw's hurt. Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't even notice.
He's hurt.
Wow.
It's brutal, man.
Yeah.
He said, I didn't even notice.
Just write it from the Lions' perspective.
Bro. And
say, I hope like hell Swift and Hawkinson play so the Lions can put up 35 on this wretched team.
You know what? I just figured out what I'm going to write. This is a revenge game for Deuce and the special teams.
Yeah. There you go.
That's what I'm going to talk about right there.
It's also a revenge game for Big V.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. See? See?
You know what's crazy
which side does he play? Does he play right guard?
Right guard.
Yeah. Right. They probably have 115 yards from scrimmage behind his ass tonight.
Right. Swift. Swift right. Swift
Who's
right.
Hurt?
Swift
no,
right.
It's the other kid. It's the guy they got. It's Williams that they got from. He's also been banging away. Not Aaron Williams. Williams from Green Bay.
Swift isn't out, is he?
Oh, Williams the running back. You're right.
Yeah. They've got 2 backs, right?
Yep.
But yes,
you're right.
Smith is the pass catcher, so he's out there a lot because they're usually down. Is Williams hurt? I know that Swift has is it an ankle? Swift is playing hurt.
Okay, so will Hawkinson if he plays. He's
correct.
Banged up too.
Both of them are hurt. Correct.
Yeah, because the right side is HPV, Halapoulivaati Vaitai, and Matt Nelson is the right tackle.
It's over, man.
What's the special teams coach name again?
Ours?
No, our old one. I forget his name.
Which one? The guy that was just recently here?
Yeah, that's now in
Detroit.
Detroit, yeah.
I forget.
I have no idea.
You realize he was up for
Thanks, Birdman. Dave Phipp.
Oh,
yeah,
Phipp.
I thought there was somebody in between him, wasn't there?
No,
I guess there wasn't. Phipp had, but here's another thing too. Like Phipp had legit 2-3 years where he was sending guys to the Pro Bowl and had legit units, and people were talking about him getting bumped up to, remember, head coach looks.
I think he did get in a couple interviews.
Yeah. And then he fell off the face of the planet like everybody else under Doug and Howie, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, here you go.
Well, see, you know why that is? That's because the athletes that he was having to use went down. You know, when you stop recruiting guys, when you stop bringing in guys that can play, the first segment of your team is going to be, the special teams is going to be poor, because you usually put your non-starters on special teams, and when they're bad, because your starters are even worse than they are,
right?
It's really tough for you to put something together that can really go out there and play. Like, remember Alex Singleton, he started out a special teams guy and worked his way up to be a starter. Now, if he's a starter, who's behind him? Because he might be worse than him. He shouldn't even be playing on the team.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's tough, man. It's tough. You know, you always put your guys that, your fringe guys on special teams. And when those guys aren't good, it's tough. It makes it really, really hard for your special teams to really work, bro. So it's gonna be a rough road for these guys for the next couple of years. The next couple of years is gonna be tough.
Birdman 990 on the stream. You need to pull this one up, Eytan. He says, I need Shander to respond to Jody Mack calling out his Philly Voice article.
Oh, wow.
Wow. What was said on
I don't know.
Birds 365? Did he blast you?
I don't know. I didn't see it, Peter. But I love the fact that it got brought up.
Yeah.
I don't know. You'd have to.
So what'd you say?
I don't know what he said about me or about the article. I doubt Jody's a pro. I mean, he had every right to call me out as a scumbag, as an asshole, all these other things. I wouldn't argue with him, but he's a pro. So I imagine he was going after the article.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what they said. It was
exactly.
Voice piece. Exactly.
Well, just for other people that may be looking at this thinking, he might have ripped me or something like that. Like, that's never Jody.
It's if the Eagles are tanking, they're doing a hell of a job.
Right.
That's the article.
Yeah, we should get Jody on.
Yeah, we should.
You guys got to give us somebody take some time and write up a little bit of a comment here as far as what was said, or maybe like the juicy part. Give us a little bit of a snippet, as they say.
Right.
Give us a sizzle reel of what it was from Jody, and I'll do my best to respond. But again, my main point and premise in writing this article is that the Eagles are so bad and they're so inept, and at times it looks like, as we've seen with the first quarter that they pulled away against the Raiders and then stopped doing stuff, it's so bad that I think you have to start asking the question if this is being done on purpose.
Right.
And a lot of it is the draft. It's all like thinking is always about the draft.
Right. This is like a Haley's Comet situation with their possible 3 first-round picks that could all be in the top 15. I mean, that doesn't happen.
Well, that's what I said too, is that they took full advantage of circumstances. But a lot of people that are successful recognize circumstances and jump on them. So I didn't say that they set out to do this way back when by drafting Jalen Hurts. I even addressed that the drafting of Jalen Hurts wasn't to do anything more than protect the investment of the team over an injured Carson. But once things started moving in motion, you see these trades, you see all of a sudden you need a coach, and maybe that Staley stuff is true.
Right. Miami stinks.
And Brandon.
Who thought Miami was going to stink? They had 10 wins last year and missed the playoffs. I'm thinking that Miami takes that next step and maybe wins the division or competes with Buffalo for the division. Well, they've gone the total opposite way, which has changed the dynamic now for the Eagles.
And by the way, Tua is playing well and they're still losing.
Still, right. That offense has just been, and it can't just because Will Fuller has been out.
Right.
Right. Like something is wrong with that squad right there.
You're
This
relying on the backpack boys. That's what's going on. You're relying on the backpack boy.
Yeah, that's it.
The backpack boy.
That's the last thing you want to be doing.
I thought that was the owner for the Las Vegas Raiders. Isn't he now backpack boy?
Oh, is he rock a backpack?
Yeah, he was. There was a photo going around the last couple of days because they have these owners meetings, and he was wearing like a white Raiders jacket and sitting down, and somebody was talking, like reporters or whatever, and you could see his crazy haircut, but he had a backpack on, and people were wondering what was in the backpack.
What's in the bag?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. Look, the opposite of it is that if this is not a tank and that they didn't bring in a coach and rush a quarterback and all the other things, a defensive coordinator who basically came on the recommendation of a head coach who wasn't even here at the time, then this is one of the biggest and maybe brightest examples of ineptitude that we've seen in a long time in professional sports. Like, this is a So for me, it was one or the other. And I thought to myself, wow, at the very least, them being so bad deserves, like, when have we ever asked this question about the Eagles? It's not like we asked it last year. Oh, are they tank? The only time we asked it last year is that final game of the season when they did tank.
Right.
Well, you know what?
So they have it in their MO. They have it in their DNA, Barrett.
Yeah, but I see it from a different vantage point. I think it's more so. It to me is different because it's looking at Howie and looking at the owner like, all right, we're gonna show you and everybody else we won this Super Bowl. It wasn't Doug Peterson, it was us. So we're gonna go out. We're gonna get a guy that nobody knows about and make him a Super Bowl winning head coach.
It wasn't even Doug Peterson. It was Nick Foles.
Right.
Well, yeah, but that's I think that's what they're saying, because I hear a lot of people saying the worst thing that the Eagles could have done is won a Super Bowl because it empowered Howie Roseman and the owner.
Well, that's like what happened with Dallas with Jimmy Johnson. Jerry Jones was content to say, "This isn't Jimmy Johnson that's winning these. It's the players and it's me. It's my team, and I'm going to prove it by putting a guy like Barry Switzer in charge." And he ended up winning a Super Bowl too.
Right. So
which really empowered that owner.
Exactly.
Now you see what's happened since.
So this is what's going on with the Eagles. I think more so than they're trying to tank. I really think that they thought that they could bring anybody in this organization and win because they were the gold standard.
Yeah,
and that's
but they didn't have a chance to do that. Remember, like, we just had another report. This one from the Chargers coach saying that he didn't want to be here. Right. He didn't want to be here. Look what they did with Deuce Staley, the runaround with Deuce Staley. My point, Barrett, is that they had more confident or qualified, I should say, candidates both in-house and around.
Yep.
But maybe people didn't want to come.
Well, so Deuce would have taken the job, though, if it was offered.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would have. You don't turn that down.
Well, that's the thing, though, is if it's not going to be offered.
Right.
Because, A, you can't control Deuce like you can control Sirianni. But you also have a better chance of Deuce. Look, these guys saw Doug Peterson connect with backups, with guys who were coming in because of people being hurt to run and win a Super Bowl. So it's hard for me to think that the owner and general manager of a football team don't recognize that if you have a coach that people, and Barrett, I mean, you could cut me off anytime if I'm wrong, believe in, that could get you a game or two. That could get you that could be the difference between you guys sucking and maybe even being 500 or winning. So why leave anything to chance, right?
Right.
Hire Deuce.
Right. I mean, those players would play for him.
Yes.
They would rally for him. I don't see these guys necessarily rallying for Nick Sirianni.
No, it's like
what you heard this last weekend. What you heard this last weekend. You're probably going to get a couple more guys speaking outwardly about it if they keep losing the way they lose, especially if they lose this Detroit game.
Right.
They lose this Detroit
The wheels
game.
will completely come off
Man,
if they lose to Detroit. You're
You know
2-6. You got the Chargers on deck, and the coach is talking about flower power.
Right.
We've gone from rock,
power.
paper, scissors. That's what I'm saying. Like, this stuff was
you can't make it up.
Was there back in the summer, and we're still talking about it. Like, he's doubling down on all this nonsense.
But you don't see, this is again part of the plan. You have a brand new head coach who runs the offense. You have a brand new offensive coordinator who people don't even know who he is.
Right.
You have a brand new defensive coordinator that is so in over his head in his area of expertise. And then you have a special teams coach who, luckily for Mike Clay, who's done a great job, people aren't talking about because it's so easy to talk about the other guys who are failing. Point being is, unless you're going to bump Clay up to be the head coach, or some random strength and condition, or Stoutland to be the head coach for the final 6 games of the year, this doesn't, there's nobody to go to.
Yeah.
There's nobody to fire and then go to that seasoned guy as the interim head coach.
They're
and
not
say,
going to fire him.
That's my point, is that as bad as this they could lose to Detroit and then lose by 30 to the Chargers.
Well,
and then you're just going to get more GM speak.
The guy who will take the fall will be Gannon.
Yeah, somebody's taking the fall.
Gannon
I wouldn't
will be the guy. He'd be out, because basically what he's doing, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Barrett, he's basically saying that he doesn't have the personnel to run what he really wants to run.
Yes.
So that's a shot at Howie Roseman.
Right. That's
okay.
Pure,
so you got that going for you. You got your head player, your lead guy, questioning your scheme in public, to the media, which never happens.
And then he agreed. Then he
agreed with it.
Right.
And Sirianni threw him under the bus so badly that he had to come back out and basically say, no, I'm not throwing him under the bus. I have full confidence in him. It's a total mess, but it's all setting up for, 4-13, and Gannon gets the axe.
Bro,
yes.
We might not win another game. If we lose to Detroit, it's guaranteed we won't win another game.
Wow.
We cannot lose.
Chargers.
We can't lose to Detroit, man. We just can't do it.
We got to take a break. We're back at 3. Hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed to the JAKIB Media YouTube page. It's the middle.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass, free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
Holy shit.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. 1 free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. So good, it just disappears.
As a hard-working American, you've never experienced how tough life can be until now. A catastrophic injury while working on the job. A personal injury from someone else's negligence. Turned away by other law firms in the region who didn't bother to learn your story. It's time to meet the Fritz & Bianculli Law Firm and managing partner Brian Fritz. Badly injured? Call the Fritz & Bianculli Law Firm. Find out why they say, "We got this."
In Philadelphia, we celebrated the miracle with pride only 5 years ago. And then the following morning, IBEW Local 98 members went back to work, building this city, rescuing our communities from decay, and inspiring the young men and women of the region to take pride in who we are. Like the Cats, Local 98 members believe in hope. John Doherty, business manager of Local 98, says it this way: the best way not to forget where you come from is to never leave.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the game. Go for the hits. Go for the fans. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
Well, it must have been riveting. I haven't seen any real recap of what Jody said, but I just appreciate them bringing it up. I can't imagine they spent much time on it. So,
yeah, I want to at least see some inflammatory quote or something.
I don't know.
What, I mean,
I'm sure I got more inflammatory responses on Twitter than I did from Jody.
You think?
Yeah.
Nah. Oh, man.
There's a great picture that I saw going out. I think it was Jay Corrado. I think it was our buddy Corrado.
Oh, yeah.
Who I haven't seen much on Twitter, and rightfully so. He hates it more than I hate this.
Yeah, he does. He does.
So I saw him put a tweet. I guess he quoted a tweet from one of these like 70s sports accounts, right?
Yeah.
And
it's a great account, by the way.
It is. It's fantastic. Yeah. And they show just stills of, and it's up there. If you wanted to see, it's at Shander Show. It's one of the tweets I put up. And it's a still shot of Buddy pointing his finger while talking to Reggie White, who's leaning down to kind of hear what Buddy has to say on the sidelines or on the field before a game.
Yeah.
So I put a quote out saying, first you have the soil, then you have the fertilizer, then you have the flower. Oh, hey, while I have you, do you mind if I wear a shirt with your face on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Can you imagine? And look, I am very rarely, if ever, the, whoa, back in the day, everything was better than it is today type person. But can you just imagine, like anybody, Doug Peterson, as much as we ripped Doug because he didn't know how to use headlights and he didn't know how to use a headset.
And the headset, yeah.
Not because the game was moving 16 times faster for him than everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah, at Forza Corrado, he quote tweeted the picture
That's
of
what it
Buddy
was.
and Buddy and Reggie talking. The Super 70 Sports says a dangerous effing combination was their tweet.
Right.
He quote tweets that and he says, I'm sure Buddy was discussing photosynthesis.
Yeah. Exactly right. It's amazing. It's amazing, man.
Oh,
like
man.
This is terrible. Seriously, this is terrible.
Like, do you
just
think
bad,
do you think the owner made a phone call after that came out and said, yeah, you might want to just back off on this?
I don't know. He's the guy who's all behind emotional intelligence and all this other stuff, right?
Yeah.
There's no way anything
Probably loved it.
There's no way anything can come good from talking about flowers and dirt and stuff when you're talking about athletes who are trying to rip each other's head off. I mean, what do you get out of that? I mean, how do you equate that to, making guys want to play underneath you? I mean, it's just tough for me to really visualize what his pregame speeches are.
I know.
We're talking about that. Because I'm Ray Rhodes. I heard everything from, you name it. I heard it from Ray Rhodes.
Right.
Yeah.
And
that was
go
not
from
suitable for workplace. NSFW
No.
Ray Rhodes.
Not at all.
So there's no way that I could accept talking about dandelions and flowers and
Yeah, dandelion. That's another outfit. That's
horticulture,
another one.
right?
The dandelion and the sunflower, a little scarlet begonia.
Can you imagine
Tulips.
Jerry
sugar and
Jones,
spice, everything nice.
Jerry Jones walks into the locker room before Eagles Cowboys Monday night. Now son. Talking about flowers and all this other shit.
I didn't see it, man, but I mean,
Dak Prescott looking back.
I just heard about it, and Celia was going off about it too, man.
Oh yeah.
Right?
He was going off about it.
Well, with Lomas.
No, I didn't hear the Lomas part. I'm talking about before Lomas came on. I listened to it for probably about an hour because, like I said, I was working on my car, and why not listen to JAKIB Media?
I'm a little out on Lomas right now. I got to be honest.
Me too. I'm pretty down on Lomas, man.
I'm down. I'm
I've been down on Lomas for a long time anyway.
I'm out on his stock.
Lomas is one that said, it's not if we're going to beat him, it's how much we're going to beat him by.
And then you guys went out and beat him, right?
Oh, yeah. That was that playoff game. Yeah. With Rodney Pete.
That's right.
We were killing them, bro. We were like 56 to like 27 or something like that.
It's amazing. You were here for Ray Rhodes' only playoff win.
Yeah.
Yep. I was here. We went to the playoff that next year also.
Just got bounced out. Well, you were gone by then.
No, we went to the playoffs the next year.
I thought you were only here for that first year.
I was here. No, I was here for 4 years.
Were
I
you?
played the Eagles for
Yeah.
4 years. Yeah,
Okay.
4 years with.
I guess I just forgot after that first year. Sorry.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
When did you come in for Guy? Second year or first year?
No, I started my freshman year, my rookie year.
Rookie year. Well, okay,
It
but
was
didn't
me, Guy Mack,
he get hurt
Riley
then?
McKenzie. He got hurt the next year.
Next year? Okay.
Guy Mack and him, Guy Mack and Joe Panos. Joe Panos came in when he got hurt. And then on the other side, we had Lester Holmes and Antone Davis. Antone Davis was shipped out after my second year, and that's when they brought Richard Cooper in. Lester Holmes left also that next year, went down to Arizona, and we had like Ian Beckles. You know, it was just like a revolving door after that.
Right.
Then the second to my third year, Riley McKenzie left, and we brought in Steve Everett to play center. So it was like musical chairs. And then they brought in my last year, they brought Trey in. And when they brought Trey in, that's when they got me the hell out of there. I played 1 year with Trey. He went to left, and I went to the right side and played sparingly at the right side, you know, on and off against starter. So,
yeah, you guys lost or beat Detroit 58-37.
Wow.
And then lost to Dallas 30-11.
Bro, well, that's you know why, right? Rodney Peter got hurt. And at the time, Randall Cunningham left for the entire week and went back to see his son being born, his daughter being born. And he stayed the whole week there. So he came back on game day. And he didn't know the game plan. He didn't know anything about what was going on. And all of a sudden, you know, he got pushed in there. And
against Dallas.
And Dallas whooped up. I mean, they beat us so bad, man. They made us like it too.
Yeah. And then the next year you lost to San Francisco on the road 14-0.
That was a tough one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a really tough game.
Then after that, it was downhill.
Yep.
Downhill. There was a lot of stuff that happened that week too, man. We were down there.
What, in Dallas or the one in San Francisco?
San Fran.
Oh, okay.
What happened?
Guy came up on one of the players on our team. Got caught up on rape charges and
what?
Yeah, bro. It was crazy.
Leading up that week?
Yeah, out there.
Wow.
In San Fran. It was crazy, man.
Like were they proven? Did he was he guilty?
I don't know.
Or
I don't know.
Just go away somehow? Because I don't remember
I think
that.
It just went away. Yeah. Well, it kind of just went away. Kind of just went away.
I wasn't living here then. I was living in another state then.
That's when you were making the big money then, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah. That was a whole other life ago.
I don't remember that. I was young, so younger at least. I don't remember how much of that was public, but
yeah, I don't remember.
Was there other stuff too, or was that just a big ripple effect?
It was just a ripple effect, man. It was a ripple effect, bro. It was crazy, man. It was a guy had I think it was an escort come up in his room, and after he was done, he didn't want to pay.
Oh my goodness!
So he kicked her out.
Hey,
that's terrible. You deserve,
yeah.
You know,
but
you deserve charges on something like that,
right? And then her pimp came,
yeah,
and made a ruckus.
Was his pimp hand strong?
I guess so.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there's something to it.
Yep.
Yep.
You know, so
look, you know, you're signing up for a service. You got to pay for that,
right? What do you think this is?
Seriously, I mean, there is a whole legal trade going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's a transaction. You know.
Oh my goodness!
I know it is.
Yeah.
You know? That's all.
Yeah, that's what happened. Bro.
Ruining it for the rest of us. Right? Somebody out there ruining it for the rest of us.
Right.
Oh man,
have a daily segment on that.
Yeah.
Just
so we got the Jody clip, man. If we want to.
We do.
Oh, we do.
Yeah. Oh, we do, don't we?
Oh, we did he? Oh, yeah, Xander has it.
Oh, shit. Sorry, Xander.
Okay. Yeah, it's okay.
And it's here this whole time. Takes Barrett, of all people, to be paying close attention.
Barrett checked his email.
I'm sorry. See, look, Xander on the ball, our executive producer of JAKIB Media Sports here, overseeing all shows and being able to pull this up. All right, let's do it. Jody Mack, John McMullen. I know J-Mac's not catching my back. I can tell you that right away.
Oh, McMullen? No way.
No way. So let's hear how bad this was with Jody.
I want to go to column C for our guys on the middle who are coming up just over an hour from now. We are on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel. I did read our buddy Eytan's latest column on Philly Voice. And he is suggesting that the Eagles at 2-5 are 2-5 because they want to be 2-5. That this is pre-planned. That this is a tank job by the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, we here in Philadelphia know what tanking looks like. We saw tanking firsthand. We saw the process with the Philadelphia 76ers. And that to me was quite obvious. Oh, yes, we're not only not attempting to win games, we're working hard to lose games so that our draft status escalates. You don't think Eytan really believes that, do you?
That's a
hot take to get.
I told you John wouldn't catch my back.
McMullen buried you.
Trying to lose games. I know Jeff Roy said this is a transitional year, and they look like a transitional team to me. But there's a difference between transitional and flat out tanking, at least in my dictionary. You don't think the Eagles are tanking, do you?
Well, hold on, Shander, if you can.
Think people get caught up in the moment.
Hold on, real quick. Again, and this is what's mentioned in the column, is there is a completely different version of tanking in the NFL than tanking in the NBA. And what Sam Hinkie did is even more blatant and outward of like NBA teams are they try to at least hide the fact that they're tanking. The Sixers didn't. And that's what ultimately cost Sam Hinkie his job, is the league was like, dude, you can't have a general manager basically broadcasting that you're gaming the system. So of course it's going to look completely different in the NFL than it will in the NBA. You have to establish guys who have no fucking idea what they're doing, like Nick Sirianni and Jonathan Gannon. Sorry, let's hear the final. Just to clarify that, because now McMullen's going to end this clip by burying me.
It's like you said, when we started this show in the off season, and we had more time to talk about the league and bigger picture issues. And we said we thought the Eagles had a chance. We both kind of said we thought the Eagles had a chance to be better than people thought because of the offensive line and defensive line. I think we both had them at 8 wins. I think we both started at 2-5, to tell you the truth.
Yep.
It was the schedule. It was this portion of the schedule. They were going to have a real difficult time beating the teams they lost to. I think you actually, I had them losing in Atlanta. You had them winning in Atlanta. I think I had them beating San Francisco early on. And that's where the disconnect was. We had them, I think we both had them beating Carolina and losing to everybody else to this point, which is how it has shaken out. So what's changed? Well, the only thing that's changed is it's looked pretty ugly. The style points, we talked about it from a Detroit perspective. They're close, but they don't win games. Well, the Eagles have been getting blown out in garbage time, yardage, and it hasn't looked pretty. It hasn't looked like that rose that Nick Sirianni wants to grow. It's looked more like the fertilizer that you need to get that rose to grow. It's looked like shit.
Wow.
That is what has changed.
What a great way to end there.
Wow, McMullen.
And isn't it like the devil is always in the details? So, of course, when you look at if you had this team winning, I don't know, 7 or 8 games this year and started out at 2-5, there's no way you can look at how they've got to 2-5 and still think they're going to win 7 or 8 games.
Right.
That's why and again, my column, even from the jump, says if they weren't looking this bad, it wouldn't even open up the door to whether or not they're doing this on purpose. It's the details. It's the details. It's always
the way they're utilizing guys like Fletcher Cox.
Oh, I love the fact they talked about that. That was great.
That, you know, and they said it a lot more eloquently than you did. You know, Jody Mack just led it up, and he just threw it up there and allowed McMullen to dunk it. Man, that was just expertise at the highest level on how they just, you know, rolled it on out there for you, didn't they? You need to fight back, Eytan. You just fight back
on what? I just did. Jody's equating it to the Sixers tank, which is completely off. You can't do that. The NBA is a different version of a lottery and how to get up there. And John is focusing on his prediction, not how his prediction is looking. So, look, both of those guys know way more about football than I do. So I'm not here to argue from an acumen or a point of view standpoint. I'm just looking at what I see in front of me. And look, I'll give it to this, all right? The one person who rips me more than anybody on this stream, who's here all the time and every day, of course, is 91L. If he is agreeing with me or at least reaching some sort of understanding of what I'm talking about, then that proves this is an objective point of view that's being looked at from what I'm basically just bringing up. That's
he put that on the stream that he's in complete agreement.
That's what I'm
with
saying.
your point. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know what? I mean, it's not
this
that
was
I
all
don't
to give them credit, Barrett. This was in that article. I gave them credit. I said, "Wow, they're gaming the system. Great for them."
You know what though? I do see your viewpoint. And I mean, it could possibly be true. I mean, in fact, you know, all signs are pointing towards that. All signs are pointing towards that. But I'm just saying this. I think is the incompetence of thinking that you are better than what you really are in running an organization that deals with the type of athletes and mindsets that not only you have to deal with that, but you also have to have athletic prowess to win games. It's not necessarily who you put in charge. It's what, cogs you have running the whole machine.
Right.
If you don't have the players to run the machine, it doesn't matter who you have as your head coach. It doesn't matter who you have as your coordinators. You have to pick better players in the draft. It's not like college. Like in college, you can go to JUCO and grab you some players that can play right now to keep you going in the right direction every year. Because they go 2 years and they're gone.
Yeah, I can see it now.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
All right. I don't know if you can make it out. You can't really make it out. But this was my notes after the Tampa Bay game or during the Tampa Bay game. Is this an NFL tank? ? How else can this ineptitude be explained?
You said that? You wrote that?
I wrote it down
after Tampa.
During Tampa.
Right.
Even before he even said anything.
Somewhere when they were going 6 for 7, 3-and-outs after the first possession. Somewhere during there, I questioned, is this an NFL tank? Because this is absolute ineptitude.
Look, the only thing that really put it all together for me was Barrett himself, former player, current analyst, saying that he could not find any reason that made any sense as to why the Eagles would open up with a game plan that works against the Raiders and then abort it.
Right.
Like, that's where it gets to when you start adding all of this up, see, that's what I'm saying. I'm not mandating that this is the only way to look at it. I'm not even saying that they're doing it. My main point in writing this is like all of these things have now added up to where it's really hard to say they're coincidence, and you have to, at the very least, honor whether or not this is being done on purpose.
It's still pointed like we all see it.
Right. It's more like the thought has to have crossed your mind.
Right.
Yes, and that's what I wrote in there.
That's exactly
at some
right.
point over these last 6 games, 7 games, pardon me, and Harry did. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you may have looked over at Seth or Ray and asked yourself or them.
No, Seth said it also.
He did?
Seth said it.
There you go.
You crumb. You were holding on to that this whole time.
There's the rubber stamp.
Hold on.
Come on.
And then I'm going to give you a little more legitimacy. Ray turned around and said, it sure looks like it.
Oh,
was this on the air?
There it is.
Was this on the air or was this off the air?
They kind of did go into it a little bit. We didn't go falling.
We need to hit the producer up.
But we definitely discussed it inside the media room, but I can't say that. I mean, I can't believe in my heart that the Eagles would do that. So that's why I'm saying I'm just going to chalk it up to the arrogance of upper management and the ownership saying, all right, we can bring in anybody and run this organization and make it a winning organization.
Barrett,
that's how I'm looking at it.
There's one thing that I feel like is always going to be this trump card, which is they've already done it on a smaller scale. Granted, on a smaller scale, but they did it last year. They did it last year with that final game of the season.
Yes. Or they took it. They took it till week 12 to bench a quarterback that was playing the worst football I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
they waited till week 12.
Right.
To get a top 10 pick. They were top 6. They had the number 6 pick in the draft. The number 6. That's how bad they were. The number 6 pick in the draft.
And look where they are now. Could be higher. Could legit be higher right now. I don't know. I mean, schedules.
If they lose to Detroit, we're talking about a top 5 pick.
Well, that's the thing too. This game this week is a no-win situation.
Right.
Because if they beat them, it's like, well, they were favored on the road. Detroit's awful. They're winless. You know, they're a disaster of an organization. So you get zero credit for beating them. But then if they lose to them on the road as a favorite, it's like, you know, the whole thing comes undone. Right?
That's right.
That's exactly what it is.
That's right.
You know, this is I as a player, I can't and I don't want to think like this.
Well, and that's the thing here too. And I see people saying as far as like, well, they fire sale and they would have No. They have everything they need right now, which is Indianapolis and Miami on the outside and control of their own pick on the inside. If you start selling off, if you start making it like a fire sale, then you are admitting to the public that you're tanking. The genius of all of this is that you have people who are going to stick up for the team and say, no. They're trying to win games. Oh, they just look bad. All these Barrett, Jody, J-Mac, there are a ton of people. Right. That's the beauty of the con.
Right.
Is that it makes sense.
Isn't it from The Usual Suspects? The greatest trick the devil ever pulled is convincing the world he doesn't exist.
Exactly.
Yes. There you go.
Exactly. You can't get away with that unless you're in a market that will allow you to do that. And like Jacksonville, right? Something like that. It's really hard.
You can't legitimize it.
Really
Eagles
hard.
can't legitimize it. The Sixers just blatantly just did it. Like, all right, forget you. I'm doing what I want to do.
Yeah, and that was like a 10-year plan, Barrett, that Sam Hickey wanted to keep tanking until he had 7 first-round lottery picks ready to field a team.
Don't forget about those second-round picks.
No, this is 1 year. This is 1 year. Like, I'm not saying this is a long-term plan. I don't think Sirianni is going to be here next year. I don't think Hurts is going to be the starting quarterback next year. I don't think Gannon's going to be here next year. I think the only guy worth saving right now is Mike Clay.
I think
wow. You know what? I don't disagree with you and the reality of that happening. I just really don't want it.
Well,
I don't want it either.
I understand it, but what I'm saying is that's why I'm looking at it from, the point of view of, all right, this organization thinks that they can do it without the players. I mean, not without the players, without the coaching staff, that they can form their coaching staff into what they want, form the clay into what they want. Let me put it in agricultural form. Form the clay into what they want and plant the seeds inside the clay, not necessarily fertile ground, and try to grow something out of just clay. The clay you can't really grow things in clay. But
no,
I can't even do it, man. No.
I tell you, Sirianni could grow something out of clay. You grow a
I'm not a horticulturalist.
That's right. Tell you what, man, we got that rose to grow through that clay, man. Woo.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, man. I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping, like I said, the arrogance of the coaching, of the GM and the head coach, and the owner being like, all right, I can put any head coach here and we can win. I know the culture that I want in my locker room. I'm going to put them in here. I'm going to take this coach and I'm going to mold them into what I want in a head coach, and we're going to win with it. That's the mindset I'm going with. That's the mindset I think it is. I don't think they're trying to tank necessarily.
Telling you,
but we all see it though. I mean, the signs are pointing towards it.
Well, let's just say they are. Okay. And what is the end game? Is it to draft a quarterback in the first round, or is it to trade the picks to get somebody like Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson, you name it, whoever?
Optionality.
That's a stopgap, though. If you want
Russell
a generational player,
stopgap.
Russell, this is Russell Wilson's what, 11th year, 10th year?
Yeah,
this
you
is
get
10th year.
4 more years out
Tom
of
Brady's 44.
We're talking about unicorns, man. You know what I'm saying? Unicorns, bro. I'm just saying. So this is just a 1 or 2 year stopgap type. I mean, a 1 or 2 year we need to win right now type of situation. Then I'm thinking that, you know, if you look at the teams that are going to start winning now, are the young teams, the LA Chargers.
Well, they brought in a veteran quarterback.
Buffalo.
What year is Stafford in? Stafford's
the Rams.
been around
The Rams did. Yeah, the Rams.
Well, Rams aren't win now.
But they're trying to. But they're trying to maximize their defense.
Eagles are not in win now mode, and they won't be in win now mode at the end of the year. The Eagles have an opportunity to do whatever they want. Again, this goes back, and we'll have to take a quick one here, but this goes back to optionality. It goes back to having chances to do what you want. You want to build around Jalen Hurts at the end of the year, then you've assured that you've got picks to do it. You want a quarterback, you can trade. You want to draft somebody, you can do that. There are so many different things you can do if you have 3 top picks. And I look, I think some people on the chat are missing the point here. Nick Sirianni and Jonathan Gannon are not in on this. This is not Sam Hinkie going to Brett Brown and saying, oh, you know, look, I need you to sacrifice your coaching record in order to lose games. These guys were hired to be so inept. That's part of it. You don't go to Nick Sirianni and say, hey, I want you to, you know, maybe you don't feel so good this week. You know, you don't say shit like that. That's part of it. All right. We got to take a quick one, man. Who is Nick Sirianni? Anybody know? We got to go into a deep dive. We're back in 3/8 a minute.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass, free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
Holy shit.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. 1 free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. So good, it just disappears.
As a hard-working American, you've never experienced how tough life can be until now. A catastrophic injury while working on the job. A personal injury from someone else's negligence. Turned away by other law firms in the region who didn't bother to learn your story. It's time to meet the Fritz & Bianculli Law Firm and managing partner Brian Fritz. Badly injured? Call the Fritz & Bianculli Law Firm. Find out why they say, we got this.
In Philadelphia, we celebrated the miracle with pride only 5 years ago. And then the following morning, IBEW Local 98 members went back to work, building this city, rescuing our communities from decay, and inspiring the young men and women of the region to take pride in who we are. Like the Cats, Local 98 members believe in hope. John Doherty, business manager of Local 98, says it this way: the best way not to forget where you come from is to never leave.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the game. Go for the hits. Go for the fans. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
All right, the saga continues. What's that?
I just had some of the Pure Bowl honey glazed bourbon beef strips.
Yeah, awesome. I got some.
Oh, so good.
They are good. Very, very good.
Beef strips for the athlete in you, it says. Pure protein fuel. Really good.
Nice.
You ever try it?
Yeah, I remember we had a couple of bags.
Yeah.
Early on.
Really good.
Bags.
Bigs.
I would say that.
See? It is lunchtime. Yeah, there you go.
But hey, guys, the more and more I think about it, it can't be the case.
What, tanking?
Yeah, can't be the case.
All right, why?
Wait, what are you saying, like, specifically? Not I don't want to use this term just broad anymore, because I feel like
it's not really tanking. Yeah, you're right. I wouldn't necessarily call it tanking, but you would call it
setting up a circumstance where you know you're not going to win games.
Right.
As opposed to going out there and telling people to lose on purpose. The Sixers were doing that.
It's like taking an L. You're going to take an L this year. You're good with taking an L this year. That's why I think the coaching staff survives, because they knew that this was not going to be a good year for this team. And that's why I'm saying.
Your point, if this thing was done by design, then I think there's one of two scenarios. There's either, and it's the Brett Brown scenario, to your point, Barrett, where you keep Nick Sirianni until you need to grow, or until you've outgrown him, right? You keep a guy around. Like, if they wanted to keep this thing going for the next 2 or 3 years, then lock Sirianni up for the next 2 or 3 years.
See, Eytan, that's it right there. That's it right there. I don't think they're keeping him around until they get good and then let him go. I think they're gonna grow him.
Oh, they're gonna grow a coach.
They're gonna grow him. They're gonna grow a coach into being a head coach that can win Super Bowls. I think that's the ultimate plan of what they wanted to do in the first place. They're thinking that they can help Nick Sirianni become a great head coach, because that's what they do. They're a head coach factory.
And a GM factory and a QB factory.
Right. So that's what they did with Andy Reid, no name.
Right.
Brought him into the coach he is now.
But he was a no name that worked with Brett Favre. He at least had, like, is Sirianni getting the credit for Phillip Rivers?
Right.
You know?
Right.
Like, at least Andy Reid, nobody knew him here, but at least you had that. Well, he was the quarterback's coach for Brett Favre.
Right.
Favre said he was great.
And then we went to Chip, and they brought him in because he was the new shiny new toy.
Yes, he was an innovator.
I hate him. I despise him. But what he did worked more often than not. He neglected, and like, here's the thing. If Chip were a human being and knew how to talk to people, and if Chip actually brought in like a Jim Schwartz, somebody who could be the second coach and take care of the defense, that team could have won something. Maybe not a Super Bowl, but they were in the playoffs for 2 years, Barrett.
Think about his first draft. He got Lane Johnson and Zach Ertz.
Yeah.
In the first 2 rounds.
He maximized Deshaun. He maximized LaShawn, but he got too greedy. He's a pighead. That's what he is. He's a pighead. And I hate that.
He's like a typical, very successful college coach where they, it's like Urban Meyer, where they just think like, whatever I say goes.
At the end of the day, man, they brought in Doug. After they brought in, after they let Chip go, they brought in Doug. And when they brought in Doug, they figured, all right, let's mold him into what we want it to be. And then he wins a Super Bowl. But then they think
empowered him.
Yes, which
in
empowered
his mind. Yes.
but it really empowered them in their mind.
Mm.
And once he became a guy that they couldn't say, all right, I'm going to do this. And once Doug's like, well, here, I just won a Super Bowl. And they're thinking, well, I'm the reason why you won a Super Bowl.
Right.
I think that's where we are right now.
So it's a clash of egos.
Right. Now they don't have a clash of egos. They have a horticultural specialist right now.
Right.
And they feel
he's
as
a
though they can make
grower,
him
not a shower. Okay. He just told us yesterday he's a grower.
But I can't legitimize anything because of his coaching style. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. So I mean, I could give him a pass if I knew what he was trying to do. I knew what his objective was. But your objective is to be good. Your objective is to go out there and win in football games. Your objective is, all right, you find something that's working. You see it's working. You keep doing it because it's working. But I saw the exact opposite. They just stopped doing it.
Yeah.
And how do you just stop doing something that worked?
All right. Well,
you've never seen a jockey pull up on a horse, man. Come on.
Let's just play devil's advocate for Sirianni. He stopped it. The series where the running back ended up getting hurt. And he'll say, well, I couldn't do any more of that after Miles went out.
He was never doing it in the first place.
That's a lie.
Right.
That's an absolute lie.
All right. I'm just bringing it up.
Right. And if he does say that, it's good that I can't sit and talk to coaches during that time, man. It's very good. Because you can't just say whatever you want to say to me because I do know football.
Right.
I do understand X's and O's. I do understand concepts. I do understand the goal you're trying to achieve.
Have you figured out the offense yet?
And that's the problem. No.
Right. 7 weeks in, we still don't know what it is.
And remember, I told you guys, it takes a team 4 weeks, 4 games to figure out what their identity is.
Yep.
I've been telling you that. Every football player you talk to will tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
But I still don't know what they are. Well, you know what? I do know what they are. They just don't have the athletes to do it. They want a drop back quarterback like Dan Marino to sit back in the pocket or Brady, sit back in the pocket and throw the ball 60 times a game. That's what they want, but they don't have that. So why do they keep doing it? So they do have an identity. They just can't play the identity that they want. And that's the problem.
Right.
Sounds like
they
defense.
Can't do it.
Sounds like I feel like we've heard this a lot. Right?
Right.
More so on defense than offense. But I feel like, wait till Chip gets his guys, or wait till Schwartz gets his guys, or wait till Gannon gets his guys. And now Sirianni has to get his guys.
Mm-hmm.
Who's in charge of getting them their guys?
Well, the thing is, too, that's a college mentality. In other words, where, wait till he gets a couple recruiting classes of the guys he's gone out and brought in. That's an excuse that you'll give a college coach for 3 years, and then he better start winning or he's done. With the NFL, it's about adapting your scheme to what you have.
Right.
It's about winning now. Nobody's here to go 4-12 or 4-13. Every team is trying to win and get to the playoffs.
And that's what it is. It's about.
You look at the roster and you say, all right, well, this guy's got his limitations here. We got to do something else. Like that's the game at this level. That's why not everybody from the college level can do it.
Correct.
But that's not what we're seeing here.
No, you're not at all.
Barrett's muted. There he is.
Man.
There.
Come on, man.
Now he's muted. I couldn't hear him before. There he is.
Right. That's what the problem is, because you don't have JUCO you can go to like you can in college football.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have the 3 years to develop like you do. I mean, you get paid too much money, and these athletes are getting paid too much money. Just let them sit there and have them grow. They're like a problem. But looking at everything that's happening in Philadelphia, I still don't see it. I'm still kicking a can down the street because I just don't know what they're doing. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Defense, what they're trying to do, I don't know, because it's not a bend but don't break mentality. That's not that's not the defense that they have. They have defense that they can blitz more. They do. They just choose not to do it. You can only blitz really. what makes you a good blitzer is the fact you got guys on the outside,
right,
that can cover at
and
least.
they do have two pretty good ones.
Right, they do.
We thought
So
we
you
were going to
blitz
see all
with it.
this double A gap blitzing stuff. Remember, because Gannon, learned at the foot of Zimmer,
He had Barr
in Minnesota.
Yeah, all those great. Like, he had Kendricks.
Mm-hmm.
He had Barr. All those type of guys. Come on, man, you can do that. Okay, you can't do it with these linebackers, but you can still blitz safeties and everything else because you guys on the outside that can cover.
Well, no, wait.
That's why
Singleton can't
Schwartz
blitz?
didn't do it. Schwartz didn't blitz because he didn't have guys that could cover. Because
Right.
if you didn't get there, it was 6.
Yeah.
But he has these guys now. They could blitz. And these guys can cover. They're just choosing not to. Why wouldn't you play your 2 best corners tighter on the receiver? Have them reroute. The ball won't come out as fast. Those are all things I don't see why we're not doing. And when they did do it, they had some success. I don't know, man. I'm tired of beating my head against the wall and not seeing anything. Maybe I'll see something this game.
You sound like the guy who's, it's like, 3/4 of the way through the conspiracy theory movie, and he's been the one who's locked up in some prison drawing those circles. And finally, it's like, we have to get to or Barrett was right, or something like that. Like, you seem like you're coming to this realization. It's there. It's in front of you. You just don't want to because of how it's been presented to you, which is a tank, which is losing on purpose. Because that,
what I feel like
your DNA.
You know what I feel like? I feel like Eli in the book of Eli. And all that time I'm watching that damn movie, it wasn't until like 3/4 of the way through that I figure out that he's blind. When I first saw the movie.
Well, spoiler alert. Geez, maybe Harry wants to go see that.
What the hell's the book of Eli?
Denzel.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. It was early in like transforming Denzel from a amazing dramatic actor into like an
action hero.
Yeah, that's been the thing now. The older you get, you have to hit this point.
Right.
We hit retirement, but actors turn
Liam Neeson, Liam Neeson.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Perfect example.
I went from Oscar Schindler snapping necks
find
left
you.
and right.
Right.
Exactly. Like what?
I will hunt you. I will find you.
It's a post-apocalyptic neo-Western action film.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not bad. It's just, it's
Mila Kunis is in there.
Oh yeah.
Gary Oldman is here.
Yeah, Oldman's the main bad guy. Of course,
Yeah.
right? Like he is.
Jennifer Beals.
Is there a movie where Gary Oldman is like really good as a good person, as like the good guy or even the protagonist? I'll settle for that. Is there remember The Sixth Sense, right?
Yeah.
Or what was the movie, the name of it, where it was the exterminator? It wasn't the exterminator, right? The hitman, right? Who had the little girl across the hallway whose family gets.
Oh,
killed.
yeah.
Why am I blanking on the name of that movie? Fantastic
goodness.
movie.
Oh man, what was that?
I don't know.
Come on. But that movie where he's like this terrible bad guy in that, like he's awful, but he's amazing. He's compelling in it.
What time period was this? How many years ago?
This is years and a French actor
Yes.
with a really young Natalie Portman. Thank you, Roberto, The Professional.
Oh, okay.
Yep, that's right.
Like that's who Gary Oldman is. I mean, Gary Oldman is just a really bad son of a bitch that you can't help staring at. He's a train wreck. But or like a car wreck that you have to watch because he's so compelling. Is there any movie that he was in where he was like the standout protagonist?
I have no idea.
Like good guy? I'm sure there is. I just we know him as
Even in Rollerblade, he was the rich protagonist.
Rollerblade.
Yes.
What was that?
LL
Rollerball?
Cool J's in it. Rollerball. That's what Rollerball.
Rollerball.
LL Cool J was in it.
I mean, I guess you could look at RoboCop maybe, but wasn't he the guy that? I mean, he wasn't a bad guy, but he created the RoboCop. Like he was the guy. Remember, he was the doctor.
Yep.
That created the technology and Omnicorp. I can't remember.
I never saw it.
Omnicorp.
But The Professional, he was actually a good guy that was a bad guy.
In what?
What did you say? In The Professional.
He was the main guy. He was ordering the hits, wasn't he?
He was the one doing the hits, but
right.
he was you know, good friends with the little girl. Him and the little girl was tight. You know,
is it called Leon?
No,
the professional.
You're thinking of the main star.
Yeah,
the French guy. I'm talking about the main bad guy in that movie.
Oh, okay.
The guy just goes absolutely nuts and crazy and all that.
Oh,
yeah, Leon.
Leon, the professional, right?
The movie is fantastic. I mean, it's like must-watch TV. If that's on, that's a stick and click, right? Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's all, man. That's all.
Oh yeah, I remember that movie. Is Jean Reno?
Yeah,
is the French dude.
He's in a couple of action movies.
Yeah, he's good. Danny Aiello was in that movie.
He was. Absolutely was. He was the friend, like the partner, right? Yes, not the professional. Although it looks like did Allen Iverson just recently weigh in on what's happening with Ben Simmons, or is this just a repeat?
I'm not sure. I saw something about that online this morning. I didn't know if it was just regurgitated
no, it looks
stuff.
like it's real. So I think the connection with fans got out of hand, and that's what Ben didn't want to have to deal with. My whole thing with our fans is we with you if you with us, but when we feel like you don't want to be with us, and then he keeps going. How has this been turned into the fans? How has a man who refuses to work on his craft been turned into the fans here? What?
Yeah. Where what he was sitting on some stage talking to some dude I've never seen before.
It looks like a Cuban clone, this guy.
What?
The guy who's talking to looks like some Mark Cuban clone.
Yeah, it's like he's on a stage or something.
Let me find this.
He's talking with Deuces Rogers.
Oh, okay.
No, but that's not Deuces in the video.
No, I'm saying that
Deuces Rogers tweeted it.
The tweet is with Deuces, correct.
Yeah, it's no mention of who this other dude is.
But come on, you're blaming the fans now as far as a breakdown here.
Yeah. That's like something Windhorst would do.
Right. Well, that's what the report came out.
Because he's a mouthpiece for the agent.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know.
Wow.
I mean, the team is at more fault than the fans are in this case. Like, look, fans do stuff that goes over the top, and there are times in which fans attack players that don't deserve it. There are times in which somebody like Cole Hamels got ripped because of how he talked here for years.
Yeah, and I said that was unfair from the get-go.
Yeah, absolutely it was.
I was in Cole Hamels' corner from the start.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not like we're removed or absolved from any bad behavior. I just think in this specific instance, to say that it got out of hand with fans and that's what a breakdown led to, or that was part of this major breakdown, I think to a textbook definition of the word is being ignorant to how things have played out.
Yeah. Agreed.
I mean, fans weren't telling Joel Embiid to be frustrated in that post-game press conference after they lost that game to the Hawks. Hey.
No.
Hey, man.
Fans weren't the one telling Daryl Morey to try to trade for James Harden.
Right.
Right. No, I don't know. It's just weird.
It's the easy thing. It's like low-hanging fruit. But I'm surprised to see Iverson go there.
Right.
You know?
Well, I tell you, some things are just not meant to be said because you're never going to get the benefit of the doubt, right? You're never, no matter what you mean, you're never going to be, or at least get the benefit of the doubt. Joakim Noah, right? Joakim Noah?
Yeah.
Says Derrick Rose's ACL tear in 2012 reminded him of the September 11 attacks.
What?
I remember the smells, who I was with, everything. And again, he even said, like, he doesn't mean it. It doesn't mean to come across. You're never going to get the benefit of the doubt when you say something like that, ever. So why say it?
Well, I guess what he means is I can kind of figure out what he means is that he remembers where he was when he saw it, or, you know, it had that big of an impact on him and his career, I guess, at the time. But you can never go there with an event like that.
No, and you can use something else, right? Like a lot, and look, people use president. I think people for a while used JFK, right, or John Lennon,
right.
Where were you, Tupac? or Biggie, right? Like, where were you when I remember when I was in high school and
or when the OJ verdict came down,
something
or
like that,
yeah,
right?
something like that,
right? But this Derrick Rose's ACL tear being the new 9/11, I think, is a little bit of a stretch.
It's a little bit of a reach.
And you're never, ever, ever going to get anybody who's going to give you like a full. Oh yeah, you're right. Like Harry, yeah, okay, I get it, but
that depends on who he is in your life, though. You know what I'm saying? What you see him as. It might be his hero. You know what I mean?
I would hope he is after a statement like that.
Right.
Right.
But you can't win, man. You know, anything like that, you know, anything with military,
and
you don't take it seriously as you feel as though they should, you're gonna get a backlash from that. You know, and it's more likely warranted. You know, you're talking about lives. You know, I can remember one time I was speaking on players when they finish playing and, you know, going through all the stuff, you know, they go through and post-traumatic syndromes and all that stuff. And, you know, and kind of equated it to how athletes and how, you know, when they're done playing, is you know, that's been how they've identified with themselves, and everybody's identified them through that. And once they become just, you know, what they would term a regular guy and not an athlete anymore, and now you're not in the public eye anymore.
Right.
How people, you know, go through post-traumatic syndrome about it. Oh my God, I got crushed for saying that. You know, because soldiers were out there, you know, and jeopardizing their lives, and they didn't want me to make the correlation between a game and these guys killing. And I understand all that, you know what I'm saying? But if you go through what we went through, you know, you understand, you know, how the polarity between the two. You know what I'm saying? You can equate it a little bit. I got crushed for it, bro. So I was like, you know what?
Just be glad you didn't tweet it.
Right.
Did you hear what Todd McShay apparently said on Get Up this morning?
No.
About the Eagles.
How would I know?
Draft. Well, I don't know. I don't watch it either.
Right.
But you know, like you said, Eytan, and you're exactly on. It's not that they want people to watch these shows. They do these shows so they can put stuff up on social media and get people tweeting it, retweeting it, and talking about it. So apparently McShay said that if they, being the Eagles, are in position to get Malik Willis, who has emerged as the #1 clear-cut quarterback in this year's class,
really,
I think they have to make that pick. So there's news there, because I didn't know that Malik Willis has now emerged as the #1 clear-cut.
Me neither.
Pick,
especially watching him play a couple of times this year.
Yeah,
and not covering football games because of him, mind you. I don't know what happened, but I thought he took a quarter to a half a step back this year.
I thought so also.
I thought he was right. I mean, let me ask you this, Barrett. If he went out last year, hypothetically, if he went out last year, where do you think he would have gone?
He'd have been a first day guy.
Yeah, he'd have been a
guy in the first round.
Yeah, I agree.
First round pick.
First day. Oh, there's a different first day. So you're saying first day, first round, not first. Like, I know they have their Thursday night now is the prime time, so not first couple of days.
No, he would have been a first round pick.
I don't know if the thing about it now is that what works for him is he comes out in an incredibly weak class.
Yep.
But I don't know if you are you upgrading this position from Jalen Hurts? I'm pretty sure you're not.
Well, according to McShay, thinks Malik Willis out of Liberty is better than Jalen Hurts as QB1 for the Eagles. That's part of the tweet too.
Right.
That's just not the quote.
Is that coming from him, do you think, or is that somebody who's inside the organization saying, hey, we really like Malik Willis?
That's him saying it.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's him saying it.
I think it's his
you think
opinion.
it's him saying that?
Yeah, it's his opinion. He's saying that he's the best quarterback in the draft right now. That's what he's literally saying. Because they're saying he understands this team might have, one of the top picks in the draft. And
okay,
this part, Thibodeau might be the first guy off the board.
Oh, yeah.
That, the Eagles should take that next pick or pick after that to take.
Would you rather draft Malik Willis or trade for Derek Carr? If you know that you're moving on from Jalen Hurts.
That's tough, man.
It was meant to be tough. I'm glad it's tough. I was hoping that you would just shoot it down and answer it before I could get the question out.
No, because I mean,
hold on. We have to break. Okay, we have to
All
break, and this is a great break point here because I could see your mind working its wheels here on this question. And the reason why I chose Derek Carr, and these are hypotheticals. Okay, I don't know if
because
Carr,
he's not a dual threat quarterback.
and he's not Russell Wilson. He's not Aaron Rodgers, right? He's not somebody that you'll say automatically, abso-freaking-lutely. Just think about it, all right? We're back in 3. It's the middle.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass, free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
Holy shit.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. 1 free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. So good, it just disappears.
As a hard-working American, you've never experienced how tough life can be until now. A catastrophic injury while working on the job. A personal injury from someone else's negligence. Turned away by other law firms in the region who didn't bother to learn your story. It's time to meet the Fritz & Bianculli Law Firm and managing partner Brian Fritz. Badly injured? Call the Fritz & Bianculli Law Firm. Find out why they say, "We got this."
In Philadelphia, we celebrated the miracle with pride only 5 years ago. And then the following morning, IBEW Local 98 members went back to work, building this city, rescuing our communities from decay, and inspiring the young men and women of the region to take pride in who we are. Like the Cats, Local 98 members believe in hope. John Doherty, business manager of Local 98, says it this way: the best way not to forget where you come from is to never leave.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the game. Go for the hits. Go for the fans. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
All right.
Now, you were asking about Carr.
Right.
And Barrett's wheels were spinning last we saw.
Yeah, and the reason why I say this, because Derek Carr is interesting because he's the model of consistency. You have a consistent quarterback to go in and run your offense.
Mm-hmm.
He won't go out and he won't, be a trailblazer like a Russell Wilson. He won't have the highlight. He won't be the human highlight film like you get with Patrick
Mahomes.
Mahomes.
Yeah,
you won't have the
got a big
marksmanship. Arm. Yeah, you won't have the marksmanship of a guy like A-Rod.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But you're gonna have a model of consistency with Carr. You could win with Carr. You could win a Super Bowl with Carr. So it still makes it a tough, tough pick for me because I want that dynamic quarterback that can do everything.
Mm-hmm.
He won't necessarily be able to do everything, but he does a lot of stuff
Make a play
good.
with his legs when everything breaks down and nobody's
Right.
open. You think Las Vegas will get rid of Carr with a new coach?
Look, I don't know. I have no idea. They were talking about getting rid of him with the old coach.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Mike Mayock, right, if that long-standing relationship with Carr is fractured or isn't. I don't know if them winning a bunch of games this year changes that. But if you don't want to give up 2.5 to 3 first-round picks, but you could get Carr for 1 first-round pick and a couple of other non-first-round picks, maybe you do it. That's all I'm saying is, look, I'm not putting anything past the Philadelphia Eagles as far as addressing the quarterback position at the end of the year. Mm-hmm. And that goes back to having options. They have options. Doesn't mean Hurts is gone. It just means that they have a ton of options.
According to this, the Vegas Raiders could walk away from him and have no issue with the cap after this year. There's 0 dead money after this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you know, and it's crazy that he even got to this point, because usually you don't even let, a quarterback of his caliber, his caliber meaning he's not a top 10 quarterback, but he's at least a top 15 quarterback.
He's still under contract, but there's no dead money. He's an unrestricted free agent in 2023.
Model of consistency.
So you can make him money. You can make him an offer. Sorry.
Yeah.
Colts were +1 2 days ago, and I jumped in.
And are they favored now?
They're -1.5.
Are they? Yeah, I like
no
them
injury.
Too.
What happened? Just a bunch of sharp money? The Godfather put a ton of money on the Colts. What happened here?
He actually did bet the Colts in a parlay bet to win the Super Bowl. I saw the ticket online the other day.
That's not bad.
He mixed a couple different sports. I forget what the ticket was, but it included the Indianapolis Colts to win the Super Bowl.
Colts are -1.5, -125 on the money line. I got them at +1 2 days ago.
It's value right there.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know what happened.
Carr last season, for the last 3 seasons, has gone over 4,000 yards and has had a completion percentage of 67, 69, and 70 in those 3 years. So you're right, Barrett, as far as consistency. Now, he threw 10 picks a few years ago with 19 touchdowns, 21 touchdowns, 27 and 9 last year.
But, I mean, you're going to get a consistent guy. He's going to win you football games. He's not going to make a lot of big mistakes. He's a guy that will win a Super Bowl with you, and you don't have to pay him a lot of money. You got to pay him starters money, but you have to pay him a lot of money, and you could sign other players. With a guy like Wilson, you're not signing a lot of players. With a guy like A-Rod, you're not going to be able to sign a couple players. I mean, that's what's going on with Kansas. Kansas City's going to be on a steady downward spiral because they paid their quarterback.
Yeah, they paid him for the next 10, 12 years, didn't they?
10 years.
10
years, $500 million.
Yeah. You might as well just give him a chunk of the team.
Right. Well, that's what they did.
They did?
Yeah. But $500 million to
just don't give his brother anything. Have you seen that guy?
Terrible.
He's a real pain in the ass. I really, you see, if that's one thing about Patrick that I kind of look at his personality and I kind of question is he doesn't shut people down like that. Like if that was me, I'd be like, yo, get off social media, quit making a fool of yourself and a fool of me. You're done.
Right.
Seriously.
You're out. Yeah.
That kid's an embarrassment.
I agree.
It's like his girlfriend. He kind of shut her down though.
Yeah, but he won't shut his brother down.
Yeah.
Well,
right?
He's the big brother, man.
How
you gonna shut the big brother down?
He's the older brother?
Yeah.
This guy? Really?
Yeah. He's the older brother.
Yeah.
His older brother came in and got his head kicked in when he was with the Texans. He was their first pick, and he was the number 1 pick for him. And I mean, they didn't have an offensive line. The offensive line sucked.
No. I'm talking Mahomes.
Oh, I thought
you're talking Carr.
I thought you were talking about Carr. He's talking about Carr.
Mahomes.
Like Derek, you're talking about David Carr.
Yeah.
David Carr won't shut his mouth.
He's an analyst. That's what I was saying. He's an analyst. I don't know what is Mahomes' brother saying.
Oh, he's on social media dancing on the field at the Washington game where they honored Taylor.
Yeah,
and he was apparently that's where they were putting the VIP people, which is a bad job out of WFT, but he was dancing on the logo for Sean Taylor. That's where I first even noticed him, and people were up in arms about it. But then he's doing these other videos too. He's like one of these TikTok dudes.
Hate to do
Terrible.
it to him.
Terrible. I have nothing for that. I am so out on that guy. And you're right, it does carry over. Like we ripped the shit out of Mike Vick because of Marcus Vick.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Right.
it's the same
Marcus
thing here.
It
was an he's a walking embarrassment.
Wow.
Same thing with this Mahomes character.
Yeah.
I don't know who the hell he is. What's his name? Jake?
I don't know.
He's
not Jake from State Farm.
No.
I actually like that guy.
Yeah,
Right.
he just continues to look like. All right, so there was one actually that I think is funny. It's the Rodgers doing the Jeopardy hosting.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh yeah, LOL. Okay, sure, why not? Like the last one. By the time they get to the third one, he's just like, oh yeah, sure, of course, right. Keeps going. Like I thought that was pretty funny.
It was.
You know?
Now the one where Aaron Rodgers is in the guitar shop playing the
terrible.
guitar, I'm out
Terrible.
on that one.
These are so awkward. No, man, just a regular sneakerhead working here for the.
Right.
Oh, that's Mahomes.
Yeah,
that's Mahomes.
Exactly.
Okay, regular sneakerhead.
Yeah, just get the hell out of here. Seriously. Terrible.
You want to be my drummer?
Right. Just going out to what did it say? Some stupid shit. Those commercials are brutal. They'll never light a candle to Dr. Rick or the Geico stuff. That's for sure.
Dr. Rick is awesome.
I love him.
I'm telling you, if Dr. Rick if he came to the Excite Center at Parks, I'd go see him.
What? I'm there. I am
dude.
there. I'm paying
can
top
stand
dollar
up.
too. I pay more for. Dr. Rick says, "All right, is everybody ready to go? Do they have their Do you have your tickets?"
Right.
And everybody filled the pass and said, "Oh, you're supposed to have it on your phone, man."
Right. If you printed out your tickets to get here, you might
That
be
guy
an old
doesn't do any
man.
stand up though, right?
I don't
He's
know.
like, oh, we started out on the wrong foot
What
already.
does he even do?
I don't know.
What does
He's
he
an
do
actor.
besides
He's
that
an
commercial?
actor.
That's all he needs to do, man.
Yeah.
Well, that's
just
my
like-
point, though. Is it's hard to have a 40-minute stand-up set
Yeah.
if you're just a character on TV, man. Those
Right.
cavemen didn't do it, Barrett. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Right.
Do, 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 do.
Wait, I can't even tell you what's the last stand-up that you saw live.
Live.
Jeff
Man, for
Ross
So long.
When was that? Holy shit!
years ago in Atlantic City, back when you could be a comedian.
I saw. Well, no, I was.
Ray.
When was that?
I saw Ray about 2 months ago. It was his birthday. I went and saw Ray. He was pretty good. Philly guy.
Not Ray Ray.
Not Ray.
When was that? 2 years ago?
No, 2 months ago.
Oh, damn. Okay, I saw Anthony Jeselnik about 2, maybe 3 years ago in Atlantic City. So that was the last. So around Harry, I would say. So you actually saw somebody recently.
Yeah, I saw it was his birthday, so he had a little birthday down at the Laugh House.
Okay.
Down in Philly, yeah.
Man, that Jeselnik dude was pretty freaking funny. I got to give you that. And I don't know if you know who that guy is.
No, I never heard of him.
Oh, he's hilarious. Very deadpan, like straight deliver, but just rips the shit out of everybody. Like he was the first person that I heard joking about how whenever something happens on Twitter, people have to race to remind you that they care. And it's like, oh, there's this major event. Oh, let me go write this thing. And it's really just, I care. I'm here to remind you that whatever it is that you care about, I care. I was just curious last time anybody even sat in what it would be, an arena or anything along those lines.
The Dr. Rick is Bill Glass is his real name.
Bill Glass?
Bill Glass. He's from Chicago.
Yeah, what does he do?
He was in the movie Wedding Band back in 2012. Justified. That was like a Western show.
Yeah, I saw that. I watched that show a lot. Who was he in Justified?
He was in there. He was Mr. Lawler in Justified. And Stripped Down, the movie. Reservations, a movie. Yeah, I want to get to more of this Justified stuff because I've heard of that show. Oh, no, wait a second. Yeah, Mr. Lawler. Looks like he might have only been in one episode.
Okay.
So not a recurring character.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
telling you, what would be great is if he went in there and his set, like if he did a stand-up set and it was like him and 6 seats behind him, and he ran, like, quote unquote, randomly pulled people out of the audience who were with him, like actors with him, and did this whole like Dr. Nick therapy thing.
Dr. Rick. Yeah.
Dr. Rick. Sorry.
Yeah. In other words, his progressive commercial would be his bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's all he would have to do.
It would
man.
be funny. Barrett would laugh his ass off
I'd
for
go,
a half
man.
hour.
I'd go.
Dude, but do you see, like, look at the girl, like the girl, she's in there, the convenience thing, and she got, I
Getting
brought
snacks.
all these snacks.
Yep. No, that would be it too.
I love how he busts Barrett up, man. I just love, he just loses it.
I brought all these snacks to the
You'd have somebody sitting in the audience with this big clear plastic bag of like peanuts or almonds.
Right. Or Pure Bowl.
Yeah.
Pure Bowl snack.
Look at how somebody running down the aisle trying to get to their seat. Like, oh, you should have came earlier.
I got some Huck and Fought.
Yep. Unbelievable.
Dude,
Oh man.
Dr. Rick, man.
That would be it.
man.
That's the only way you could get away with it.
Yeah, and the casino shows are always shorter than normal shows because they want you back out in the casino gambling.
Right.
So that the act never has to do like a full set.
Right.
Like they would if they were at the Keswick, let's say.
Correct.
Right.
That is so funny, dog. When dude is behind the car and he's backing him out.
You don't even know him. Look at this.
We all see it. We all see it.
Busted up.
Blue.
I'm telling you, I need you to drop that on the post-game show. If the Eagles lose to Detroit, you need to do it. We all see it, Ray. We all see it.
Yeah.
We need that. Okay.
I'm gonna hit him with we need Dr. Rick here.
Yeah.
We need Dr. Rick. We all see it, Ray. We all see
And
it.
Seth would give you that look like, what?
Yeah.
Who's Dr. Rick? Who's this Dr. Rick?
Oh man, oh my side is hurt now.
That's crazy.
Woo! Oh my goodness. That mean ever since him, there's no cussing, no fussing,
Yep.
no.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Every time it just like he laughs harder.
I know.
You would think that it would wear off after he gets
They
more.
keep making new commercials.
That's legitimately one of the best commercials ever. That's the best series ever, man.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the best series ever. Because he's so serious, you know what I mean? He's so serious. And every time I see him, I just sit there. And you know what's so bad? I really want to just take a screenshot and send it to you every time I see the
Yeah,
commercials.
I'm sure you do. Is that the best commercial campaign of all time?
All time.
And
That's
I
what
say
he says.
campaign. Okay, so here's the rule. The only rule is that it can't be one. Like, there's no one-offs. A campaign has to be minimum 3. How about that?
Mhm. Three.
3. How many? 3.
Right.
How many? Something like that. Like at least 3.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know, man. I'm partial to these.
To which ones?
Well, I like the Cavemen ultimately.
Yeah, the Caveman was good.
Yeah, but these new ones about like, there's a rat in the basement.
Yeah, that's good.
There's an animal.
an animal.
The animal.
Right.
Yeah,
Now, is that Bobcat Goldthwait, by the way, doing the animal voice?
it might be.
Is it?
Yeah, it might be.
Oh,
All right, now here's a tweet that I got to read to you. I'm going to edit it because I don't want to give away who it's from, but I want to see if you can guess.
Mike Gill.
That's a good guess. That's a good guess, but it's not. Give us some great scary movies that blank can show his kids this weekend. The scarier, the better.
Oh, I'm gonna guess it's a radio host. That's a bit to get people to send you stuff that you could talk about on the air.
Very well done.
That's my guess.
Yes, you're correct.
Well,
You're
because
very warm.
That's an old trick. That's an old trick of the trade there. Not
Very
to give
warm.
away any
What is it?
secrets. Just put something out on Twitter like, hey, we need suggestions for a show Barrett can watch tonight. And then it's just to get 50 or 60 tweets about, well, you should check Squid Game out, or you should check this out, or you should check that out. And then it's like, all right, well, let's kill, whenever the show gets slow, we can go back to Twitter
right
and reinforce something that was said. Hey, well, what about, oh, we forgot to bring up Frosted Flakes. Oh, what were we thinking?
Wow.
I'll give you one of the replies.
Is that the camera? My guess is it's the camera.
He doesn't have any kids.
He doesn't?
No.
Oh,
He's not even married, is he?
No.
No?
No, I don't think so.
It's not Anthony, is it?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. He's got to show Moss and Anthony Jr. some scary movies.
I will give Anthony credit. If there's anybody on the radio right now that I would at least listen to do that bit, it would be Anthony, probably because he hasn't seen 90% of the suggestions.
Well,
I'm not watching some fucking pinhead guy with pins in his head. Get out of here.
Yeah, because he doesn't recognize comedy or the horror genre at all because it's cheap
It's
writing.
LCP.
It's not about the writing.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so I was on the right track, but on the wrong train.
Yeah. Salem's Lot is getting a couple of votes.
No, I'm not doing this. Give me a show. Look, I tell you, this Paw Patrol, whatever the hell this thing is, like crack for my child.
Yeah. Does he just stare at it?
It's insane.
Paw Patrol's amazing, man.
We put this thing on and he just stops. It's like
stops him
staring
right
at
in his
it.
tracks.
I try to get him to watch the Eagles. He starts crying.
Me too. I'm crying too, man.
There must be some subliminal thing that just
It has to be. My granddaughter watches it all the time, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is going on? I bought her all kind of Paw Patrol stuff. My grandson, he's got dinosaurs, man. It's funny, man. I can remember back in the day when when October came around, every single commercial from October all the way to Christmas were all toy commercials.
Yeah.
Everything was toy commercials.
Right.
Everything. You know what I'm saying? You name it, it was a toy commercial. It's a lot different these days, man. I guess they don't do it anymore. They don't sell toys as much anymore, I guess. But I don't see it the way I used to see it. I mean, every single commercial.
The only thing I watch on regular TV is sports.
Well, yeah, me too. Well, I watch Motor Trend.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I watch Motor Trend.
King of Queens reruns. Those are great.
You should get the DVDs.
Oh, they got this thing now on TV Land. It's called Fellavision.
What's that?
Is that like Everybody Loves Raymond? And, I love that.
Exactly what it is.
Yes.
It's Raymond. It's like a block of Raymond followed by a block of King of Queens.
Queens.
They call it Fellavision.
Now, what channel's that?
TV Land.
Oh, I gotta watch that.
The problem, this is the issue I have though with TV Land, is that they cut, normally these shows are like 22, 23 minutes, right? But then they're cut a little bit shorter for TV stations to air them. TV Land airs like 19 minutes of a show, and they jam in these promos for the Goldbergs. And the Goldbergs, I've never watched this show, but I've seen enough promos to know that this has to be a terrible waste of time. Just an awful waste of your time. So they constantly play. It's really hard. It's like, think of this. You're trying to fall asleep to King of Queens in the background, which is like white noise for me.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, as you're falling asleep, you hear this promo for this annoying mother on Goldberg, and it's like an alarm. It wakes me up, and then I'm up again. So I can only watch the CW version of that because at least I get crazy infomercials at night and not promos for that shit show.
Barrett's going to be on with Cilio today.
Yes, sir. 4:30.
4:30 Eastern time.
Can't wait.
Are you going to give him a scary movie that his kids can watch tonight?
No, I'm gonna talk it out. I'm gonna see what he's talking about as far as this tanking thing, because he was very adamant on saying if we keep that GM keeps those 3 first-round picks and we allow him to go out and get players, it's gonna be the worst thing ever because he can't evaluate talent. That's what he keeps saying.
Well, if they got the #1 pick and they passed on Thibodeau, that would be grounds for a firing squad.
Bro, I'm rushing the castle.
I'm
rushing
joking,
the castle.
but-
Yeah.
Tom Thibodeau?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm rushing the castle. I think his name is Javon Thibodeau.
Yeah, from Oregon.
From Oregon, yeah, defensive end.
Yeah, he
Number
wrecks the
5.
game. Yeah,
Yes, he does. He's been hurt all this year, though.
Yep.
Yeah, but he played against UCLA hurt and wrecked the game.
Right.
Okay. I had UCLA.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's Philly has become a national, not for the good things, but for the bad things, the bad choices. And he brought up something. He brought up something that I didn't even think about. Like Donahue was here as an advisor.
Donahoe
was
right.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Right, like a draft advisor,
and we didn't use him.
Nope.
We didn't use
him. Donahoe. No, that's the guy they escorted out of the building with Chip.
Right. But they also had the Kansas City Chiefs guy from for a long time. What was his name? The GM for the Kansas City Chiefs?
Pioli?
No.
Scott Pioli?
No.
He came from New England to go to Kansas City, didn't he?
Yeah, but he was there. That's why.
Right.
We'll see.
Think about it. We got to get out. Think about that. We're back tomorrow. Football Friday rolls on. Barrett, where are you this weekend?
Nowhere. No games this weekend.
Nice. All right. So you get to watch the Detroit game then, not in a hotel room. Thanks to everybody. Hit that thumbs up button on the way out.
Dorsey.
Oh, Dorsey. Yeah.
Brooks on with Cilio today at 4:30. So you want to make sure you're there for that as well. We'll see you on Friday. It's the Mix.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass, free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
Holy shit.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. One free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. So good, it just disappears.
As a hardworking American, you've never experienced how tough life can be until now. A catastrophic injury while working on the job. A personal injury from someone else's negligence. Turned away by other law firms in the region who didn't bother to learn your story. It's time to meet the Fritz & Bianculli Law Firm and managing partner Brian Fritz. Badly injured? Call the Fritz & Bianculli Law Firm. Find out why they say, "We got this."
In Philadelphia, we celebrated the miracle with pride only 5 years ago. And then the following morning, IBEW Local 98 members went back to work, building this city, rescuing our communities from decay, and inspiring the young men and women of the region to take pride in who we are. Like the Cats, Local 98 members believe in hope. John Doherty, business manager of Local 98, says it this way: the best way not to forget where you come from is to never leave.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the game. Go for the hits. Go for the fans. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.